I love following him on Twitter at Josh Gad and what he does and the happiness he brings to people is immeasurable. If only his Miami Dolphins could return the favor. Josh Gad here on the Rich Eisen Show. How are you, Josh?
Oh, that was such a great intro to that Miami Dolphins thing. Such a really lovely introduction, and then you had to go there.
Hey.
You had to foul up my fish.
Now hold on a second. Now Tua's here. Tua's here now. Are you all in on Tua? Like, knock on wood.
Oh, I was part of the Tank for Tua group. I mean, obviously his injuries are cause for slight concern, but I'm all in on Brian Flores. Like,
me too.
There isn't anything that man and his genius approach, I think, is incapable of achieving with this organization. And I say that as somebody who literally had the Dolphins winning maybe one game last season and was as awestruck and stunned as everybody outside of Miami by what they managed to string together, including that insane win against the Pats.
Well, I mean, I got to tell you, Josh, you want to put it all together, tank for Tua. I mean, I was hearing about tanking for Tua for the Miami Dolphins literally when he beat Georgia in the national championship game. And then when it was now time to actually put this plan into place, and it was time to start tanking for Tua, with Brian Flores as their new head coach, and then Ryan Fitzpatrick as their quarterback, there was no tanking going on. That's the anti-tank quarterback in the history of anti-tank quarterbacks in Ryan Fitzpatrick.
I know. And yet here we are. And yet somehow, we get Tua, I think, without trading anything in return. It's just such a shocking thought. All this time later, because I remember Dolphins fans were kind of like, we didn't know what to do with their final record, because losing that first pick and losing the opportunity, or so we thought, to get Tua without the first three picks was something that I think we were just all like, oh, God. And yet here we are. And I thought the Dolphins just in general had a great draft. I think they're really smart. They're making all the right moves.
And yet,
then again, you could go back and listen to previous interviews you and I have done together, and I probably said the same thing about Tony Sperano at some point. So I don't know if he's going to end up being.
But you are Josh Gad. You are all about the positive. You're, as I said, you're a delight. You like delighting people. You like being happy. You like being having love in the world. I know this about you. I've seen this about you. And yet, though, the desire to be so absolutely overjoyed out of the spite of beating New England at the end of a season that was otherwise totally lost. I can hear the delight for you to be motivated by that particular piece of spite. I think is exactly what fandom is all about, Josh.
What spite? You mean the spite from the last time we beat them, or the season before when we also beat them in the final seconds of a game that everybody wrote about?
Well,
I don't have any spite. I don't have any overjoy.
But that one didn't cost them eventually, a week off in the playoffs. I mean, yeah. Kind of, yeah. Put it all in motion, and that last loss that the Dolphins stuck it to New England to get them out of a bye week spot, to put them in Foxborough the first week to be one and done by the Titans in Vrabel. That is a particular chef's kiss type of stuff right there for a Dolphin fan, I'd imagine.
It really is, and I apologize for my glee to all the Patriot fans out there, but you have to understand, you've dominated the AFC East for over a decade, and it hasn't just been a domination. It's been the most depressing, feudal existence for a fan ever. Jets, Bills, and Dolphins fans have had to live with Superman in their division for so long that it was only fair to finally overthrow this insanity of a dynasty.
Yes, and then you take a look at it, and then just to, I guess, put it a full circle, a little button on it, the Miami Dolphins are in New England to open the season in 2020. So maybe Tua goes up there, or Fitz magic, works his magic again, and starts things off. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
For you.
I would love for Tua to really get healthy and there's nothing to win this season. Let's just let's give this kid some time and let Fitz do his thing and I hope they don't put him out there and destroy him before he has a chance to really come into his own, because it's an unforgiving game and I want the guy to have every opportunity to honestly become the next Marina, to become the great superstar our city has been longing for my entire lifetime.
Josh Gad here on the Rich Eisen Show. So much going on with your career. I'd love to hit them all with you. Artemis Fowl, Disney fantasy and adventure film, available for streaming this Friday, Disney+. What a cast. You, Judi Dench, Colin Farrell, Kenneth Branagh directs it. What can people expect from this one, Josh?
I think they can expect some great family entertainment to greet them at home. I'm so excited. This movie was originally supposed to be theatrical, and obviously given the state of affairs right now with the ongoing pandemic, I think Disney made a really bold and exciting choice to premiere it on Disney+, and it gives everybody a chance to see a really cool adventure film laced with magic based on a series of beloved books by author Owen Colfer. And the movie is tremendous. It's actually the last film I saw on the big screen before I had to shelter in place. I saw a screening of it on the Disney lot, and I could not be more thrilled. I think people are going to definitely going to get their money's worth. Put it that way.
Yeah.
It's really great.
How does one prepare to play a filthy kleptomaniac dwarf, as you've been described for your character, Josh?
Wow.
How does one prepare for that?
I really immersed myself. Did a lot of watching John Rhys Davies in Lord of the Rings as Gimli.
Nice.
There's a little bit of Hagrid. I like to think of Mulch as Hagrid by way of Han Solo. This guy is a loner. He's sort of out for himself. You can't quite tell what side, if any, he's on, and there's a lot of that sort of like Han Solo roguishness to him. Definitely not the looks. I'm definitely clearly sexier than Harrison Ford in that film. But
yes.
It's such a great character, such a great film, and I can't wait for everyone to see it this Friday.
Yeah, again, Friday, June 12th is when you could start streaming it on Disney+. And then you mentioned Lord of the Rings. Josh Gad, what you are doing on your YouTube stream by getting some of the most iconic films and television back together, and the casts back together, is amazing. I cannot imagine how you have been able to pull all of this off. I assume you're getting help to get all these folks together. I mean, Lord of the Rings, Goonies, Back to the Future, Splash. Hey, Ron Howard, are you free when Tom Hanks is free? I mean, like, literally, is that what you're doing to get everybody back together, Josh?
It's a lot of reach out. It's a lot of conversations with a lot of people that I greatly admire, all in the name of charity. The truth is that people clearly have more time on their hands than usual right now, and a Zoom call, if it's an opportunity to raise money for charities like the Center for Disaster Philanthropy or our last one, No Kid Hungry, which we've raised as of today over $140,000.
Amazing.
I think people are really into that idea, and I'm glad that it's providing so many with so much joy at a time when I think people really need it.
It's truly amazing. And is it true your next shot is the Ghostbusters reunion? Is that what you're doing?
Next one is Ghostbusters. We're editing that now, and I could not be more excited for all the surprises in store. And it's going to be hopefully an elixir to these interesting dark times that we find ourselves in, and give people not only an opportunity to laugh and go revisit one of my all-time favorite films, but also raise some money for some incredibly appropriate causes.
All right, so booking Bill Murray is just like, you want to talk about a white whale. I mean, isn't it like you got to call a number? It's like a payphone somewhere and somebody answers it, right? And then they pass the long message to Bill, and Bill's like, yeah, I'll do it. Is that true? something like that?
I can't comment because I can't confirm or deny that I got Bill Murray. But what I can tell you is that Bill Murray is one of the most notoriously difficult people to ever book for anything. That is all true. That is absolutely 100% true.
And how do you fit the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man into a Zoom square?
Great question,
Josh.
It's really interesting. He has great internet connection, and he was game. The bigger problem isn't getting him on. Isn't getting him on the square. It's with no fingers. It's very hard. He kept clicking every button on the pad. So that was the toughest part.
So, I mean, because you could also go Rick Moranis here, Sigourney Weaver. I mean, I'm locked in on all of these. It's amazing. You got the whole Goonies cast. Can I make a suggestion? We've got some requests.
You can always make suggestions. I love Rich Eisen suggestions.
Okay.
What I look for.
I would love to get a reunion of Midnight Run, even though I know a couple.
Yeah, that is a great.
A couple of the actors have since passed, but Yaphet Kotto is 80.
Okay. And obviously we still got the two leads. So.
We do. Grodin and De Niro, and I would just love to just get the whole. I don't know how it's not an ensemble like Joey Pants, right? You got him.
Joey Pants, yeah. That's a great suggestion. I hadn't thought of it, and Midnight Run is a perfect film. I think that the really nice part is both Grodin and De Niro seem very approachable. So I'm gonna just take it for granted.
Josh, everyone obviously wants to do it for you. It really is something. I know I just love that movie. I don't know. I would love to know some backstories and have them, to just see what happened.
That's a great suggestion. Give me another suggestion.
Chris, which is another one that you wanted to do?
Well, I wanted to do Varsity Blues.
No, you want to do Shawshank.
Shawshank would be great too.
We could get Stephen King.
All right, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you something off the record, which means that only you and everyone who listens to this show can know.
Yes.
I have started reaching out to the cast of Shawshank Redemption to see if there would be any possibility of bringing them together. It is, in my opinion, one of the greatest movies of the last century. But it's these things are really, it's all about the participants and whether or not they want to revisit these films. So I have done the reach out, and hopefully they say yes, because I tend to agree Shawshank would be incredible.
And again, people just go and put Reunited Apart into YouTube, and then that's how they can find everything, correct?
Yes. Yeah, you can go to YouTube/Josh Gad to make it easy, and
good.
It's great. The episodes are really great, and doing it for a really good cause.
All right, and then Central Park as the animated musical sitcom that premiered a couple of Fridays ago about a family that lives in Central Park. That looks, to be honest with you, I'm looking at the cast. It looks like half Hamilton, half Frozen, with Leslie Odom Jr., Daveed Diggs, you, and Kristen Bell, just to name four. That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah, and then we obviously had to settle for people like Stanley Tucci, who were in neither of those things, and Catherine Hahn and Titus Burgess.
Yeah, that's okay.
No, it is such a tremendous cast and such a tremendous show. I'm so blessed to call myself a co-creator on it, along with the great Lauren Bouchard, who created Bob's Burgers, and Nora Smith, also from Bob's Burgers. There's just something so joyful about this series, and everyone who's been watching it has been, paying that forward to us and letting us know how much not only the show itself, but the incredible music written by an assortment of geniuses, including Kate Anderson and Elisa Samsel and Brett Knopf and some unbelievable guest composers like Cyndi Lauper, Amy Mann, Rafael Casal. It's a great group, and the show is currently on Apple Plus, and it is a must watch.
Yeah, and Amy Mann, the Magnolia soundtrack is one of the greatest movie soundtracks of all time. And again,
it's so good, and she wrote such a good song. And Sarah Bareilles wrote, I think, a song that everybody who's watched the show is playing over and over again.
Because again, when I saw the cast here again, half Frozen, half Hamilton, I just thought, what if they mixed, right? That a revolution was brought to Arendelle, or when the British when the British were fighting against the colonials, if they just got frozen. Literally, like just like
it's not a bad idea. It's also not a great idea. It's just kind of hanging there.
Well, Josh, before I let you go, you have been here before, and it's always a delight when you are here. My sound man, my sound engineer, my audio executive, as he likes to be called, Mike Del Tufo, 54-year-old single man or divorced man. From the state of New Jersey.
Michael, unfortunately, I'm married. I'm unavailable.
No.
Congratulations. We'll find you somebody.
No, here's the thing. It's like, what's the oldest Olaf fan you've ever come across? Who's...
Oh, man, I've come across people in their 90s who are Olaf
exactly.
fans. Yeah.
No, like have all the stuffed animals, have all the...
Oh, yeah, you'd be surprised. Olaf connects multi-generationally. I mean... There are people who are in their 80s and 90s who like have Olaf paraphernalia who let me know how important that character is to them, and I think I think the reason that so many people connect to that little guy is there's a sense of like childlike wonderment that I think a lot of us forget that we have even when we're older, and it reminds us of the purity of looking at the world with our glasses half full optimism that Olaf brings to the table.
Because, Mike, do you want to say something to him?
Because it's a great character.
No.
But
You've got how many Olaf items do you have in your house? What's the grand
I have
total?
the full size one.
Okay.
Then every miniature, I have like the full size one, and then I have multiple. I got a mug. I'm thinking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Probably
I'm
6.
I'm gonna have to sign something for you.
Yeah, no,
There
totally.
you go.
So
But I mean,
personalized.
And I have one in the cup holder in the rear of my one car.
That's not weird at all. By the way, that's not a metaphor for anything.
He sits in the back. He's my co-pilot.
That feels like a hostage situation. That one I don't know if I approve.
He's my co-pilot.
All right, I'm going to put you on the spot before I go. Can you? How would Olaf term the drafting of Tua Tagovailoa to the Dolphins? Can you tell me what Tua thought about that draft, or beating the Patriots and knocking them out of the bye week position? Do you got something for me on that front, Josh Gad?
I love everybody equally, and I would tell you that it never gives me joy to see any team down on its luck, except if that team is the New England Patriots, who've had it coming for a long time. So bye. Have fun in the gutter.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, that was fantastic.
Josh, you're the best, man. You're the best. Keep doing what you're doing. Let's stay in touch, okay?
You're the best. And I'm teasing Pats fans. I love you guys. I just don't like the fact that you win every freaking season.
Take care of yourself, Josh. That is Josh Gad. You got it. At Josh Gad on both Twitter and Instagram. Artemis Fowl this Friday, June 12th on Disney+. Central Park on Apple TV Plus has been available since the final Friday in May. And then go again to youtube.com/Josh Gad. I'm telling you, these reunions are amazing. I do not know. I mean, the thing that's so impressive, the logistics it must take to get everybody to zoom in at the same time. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.